Man of the hour.
How are you?
Good. Good to see you. Couldn't ask for a better day.
Yeah, this is a wonderful day in Missouri, isn't it?
It is. Thanks for letting us come and share the story.
Exactly.
So what do we got going on right now?
Oh, I just got done doing tax assessment sheets.
Yeah, that's sitting on my desk too. I haven't submitted that one yet.
filling out equipment list.
Yep. This is Warren County?
No, this is Gasconade.
Yeah, this is okay.
Yeah, Montgomery just to the north, and then we just sit in Warren County where we live.
Oh, okay.
You get just one farm in between us.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. Hence why we call ourselves Tri-County, I presume, so, because of the three counties.
Oh, yeah.
We had to do that in 1976 if you want to start getting the history. If you want to start hearing the history. Started February 4th of 1973. We bought a small high lift. We thought, we used on the farm a little bit, this and that and the other. And our first truck probably in March or April to go along with a little high lift. It was a GMC, I think it was maybe a 66. Had a aluminum bed on it. Anyway, the dealer here in town, so he wanted that aluminum bed off that old GMC. And so in September of 73, we went ahead and traded $9,000 for a 1971 Louisville, which is 2 years old. $9,000. $3 a load to haul dirt. $3 a load. And if you had a really good day, you hauled 40 loads.
So $3 a load, what would one turn time be, or how long would that take?
Well, if you had success, you would make 40 loads, so you got $120 for that day. Then it shut down for a little while. And I went back up and I told them, man, we're just destroying this truck. We need to find something different. Like, good God, it's 40 loads a day of dirt. And that's when gas jumped so much. You know, we were at 60, 70 cents and went to $1.20.
Yeah, late 70s or 70s, yeah.
But before I need to backtrack a little bit. Before we bought this first truck, the guy here had been a contractor in town for years and years and years. He had a little dirt haul filled in for senior manager. And he paid us $10 an hour, truck and person, to haul dirt. $10 an hour, 73.
So were you married at that time, or just
No,
single?
No,
Okay.
I was 20. In fact, you could go over and drink a beer in Kansas. I did that once or twice. One of another guy, Clem Dooley, he's from Jeff City. He was hauling asphalt with us. He said, "You work for $10 an hour?" I said, "Yeah, we did." So we thought, boy, we were in tall heaven hauling this asphalt, boy. You know, that's when I had regulated rates and all that.
So you weren't in favor of deregulation?
Yes and no, I don't know. It really, there was enough cheaters. There was what they call a dirty dozen at one time.
What's that?
The dirty dozen were a dozen of them that bypassed the regulations. That's how it was. Back in the regulation days, you had administrative law judges, and you had all kinds of stuff. You had to abide by that, so much the rate per ton, per mile. You know, you had to abide by that. Well, he parked the loader on the job, and that was good enough. Put the sand in his name, no problem. But there was like a dozen of them across the area, across the state, that they didn't abide by regulations. Yeah, sure.
They just didn't get caught, or just didn't?
Oh, they couldn't enforce it.
Because they found the little gray areas, little loopholes, like putting the loader on the job to...
Wait. This is what
Oh, wow.
you went by.
Oh, we need that. We need to document it. That is pretty cool.
Right there. That's the rate you had. You had a fire clay. That was the cheapest rate you could haul for it because you're supposed to be able to do that year round. Well, that's not necessarily true. Anyway, then you had a riprap rate, and you had rock and sand rate, and you know, yeah. See the miles on the side?
Is this though, like, who came up with these numbers?
PSC, Public Service Commission. That's what you abided with. And in 1976, the guy we worked for here in '73, he was only 54 or something. He said, "You guys been arrested? I'll sell for you." So in March of '76, we bought that. That's when we incorporated.
In 76?
Yeah.
That's when we incorporated, yeah. Started in '73, but incorporated in '76.
So when you did that, how many trucks did you have at that time after?
Oh, 3, I guess. 3, I think.
So were you guys in the late 70s? What did the farming operation look like then?
It wasn't very big.
Okay.
No,
Not yet.
No, early '80s we bought one of our first farms, and I bought the farm where I live in 1983. Thought it was the highest price ground. It was 117 acres originally, and we was able to add on to it later on. But it was $1,100 an acre. Like, oh my God, it was the highest price ground in the area at the time. We'll back up a few years.
Yep.
1978, we had an opportunity to buy Herman Sand and Gravel, Two Rivers Sand it's called. Well, we didn't know much about the river. We could handle it once it got on the bank. So my other brother, he's 75 now. Anyway, he was working for this dredging company, Bernard McMenemy out of St. Charles, and they pumped a lot of these holes shut during the
70.
big flow. Anyway, my brother's boss, he decided he was tired of traveling because they'd been up to Quincy and did some pumping up there and this and that and the other. So he went in as partners with us in 1978, March of '78. He partnered with us. Yeah, at the same time, we took over the trash route in 1978. And we've been doing that ever since 1978, just here locally in town. And then in 1980, superintendent approached us whether, it was actually my wife's uncle, he was getting out of the school buses. So in 1980, we got into 6 school buses. We did that from 1980 to 1997. Start buying more farmland, 94 after one of the floods, we start buying a piece there.
So the farming started kind of more in the 90s?
Yeah.
Yeah, and now more so with, it's Inkman Farms now, me and my other brother Tom, the other was going. And we bought a pretty big plat in 2018. It was 1,638 acres in one patch. That took a lot of doing to get that accomplished.
Does Tom do more of that side of the business, or is he?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
He's more.
He drives when he has an opportunity like that.
Yeah, they're out unloading in Kansas today.
Yeah. Him and his son.
Yep.
So,
Mhm.
Him and his son do more than farming.
Yeah.
I don't get to.
What's your role now?
I don't know. Settle my ass, I guess.
So today on the trucking side, just kind of rough breakdown between the equipment. You got
We've got about 22 road tractors. We have 5 hoppers. One truck is dedicated to a hopper year-round. He actually doesn't even have a wet kit to keep them lighter. The rest all have wet kits to handle the end dumps. Then we have 6 dump trucks for our local work, sand haul, stuff like that, rock hauling, and then 3 trash trucks.
all these businesses. It just seems like a lot to keep track of, quite
That's
honestly.
why I'm sitting in the no worry seat. This is the no worry seat over here. No worry seat. He's got that.
You're in the worry seat. So a lot of this, you're hedging against. You got to have all these avenues because this one,
That's what
this
it's
week,
all
no
about.
trucks, so you got to
Yeah.
switch them over here.
Mhm.
It's just like this web of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
You go this way?
Yeah, we can. Yeah. Working on his dozer.
Yeah, my old older. 35 years old.
Oh wow!
Had a fuel leak and hydraulic leak, and it's one project that we had in here this week. So, yeah. So we have 2 full-time technicians, great guys. They put up a lot with me, so.
So you guys doing all your own maintenance?
For the most part, anything warranty we try to push out to the dealers.
Okay.
Yeah. So we do all of our own fuel here on site. It's way cheaper than buying it on the road because of what we do. We're so local and regional to the St. Louis area.
Yeah.
All the trucks come home every night. So if we buy a tanker load every week and save 30 to 40 cents over local pump price.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So most of these trucks, are you running sleepers on them? Or?
We have a mix. And the only reason why we do that is so we have that option of going if we need to. It's probably a 60% are day cabs and the rest are sleepers. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what's that
Like-
trailer going to be hauling versus this trailer?
They basically will haul the same thing. Like Illinois doesn't recognize 7 axles. We do. We started buying those short 28 footers for going into ready mix plants to shorter configurations to get around in tighter areas. So yeah, that was is how we started doing that. But then we've always had these, the 39 footers. So yeah.
Mark, tell him, unless he doesn't want to accept it, I left a half a gallon of barbecue sauce in the back of the truck. Ron's barbecue sauce.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
That's the real stuff.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. See a lot of maroon. Is that
Just a color we like.
I hear all the time, a lot of times when you're trading trucks, it has to do a lot with the warranty. Like,
Oh,
when the
yeah.
warranty goes up.
So we hold on to these for 5 years because that's how long our warranty lasts, and we just don't want this emissions issues to keep, going on.
Is that the main?
That is the main reason.
just because of the emission issue.
Yeah, because it gets so expensive after that warranty. Naturally, it's crazy having to deal with all the extra sensors that they're putting on. Now there's 27 emissions. They're talking about an extra generator, alternator I should say, that acts like a generator to heat the exhaust even more. Now the R&D is already there, so they're going to come out with it for 27 model trucks. See, Cummins was actually talking about doing it already starting this year. That's why we bought the extra trucks last year. But then with Trump's initiatives, they've held back. PACCAR hadn't quite brought their product out to unveil it yet, and I don't exactly know what Detroit and Mack have done. So on their engine side,
Where do you learn about that information? Is it just from your salesman telling you what's
a lot of salesman stuff, and then my dad reads a lot of magazines.
Yeah?
A lot of the
I guess-
trucking magazines. I don't tend to have a lot of extra time to read the magazines. I probably should, but
It seems like you have to have really good relations with almost the general contractors or these people that get awarded the jobs, because then you all get awarded the trucking, right?
Right. Yeah. So and that was kind of the whole reason for the sand plant at the time to go along with the trucking, because that all was an avenue to, help the trucks out. That sand was back in '78 when they bought that.
Can you explain that a little bit more? The rates haven't changed.
They haven't changed a lot in 20 years. I mean, you still get everybody to try to, well, you really need to work on your price. Well, I haven't raised it in 4 years. What do you want me to do? I'm like, all my equipment and insurances went up, but I'm still hauling for.
So how do you make that work?
Well, you make the reason why we have so many different ventures, I guess. Because otherwise it probably wouldn't work very well. And that's where it all stemmed from. I guess I just got bred into that line, of you stay busy, and you make sure those hit and misses are far and few in between, of the downtime or.
But that's really sparked even your dad talking about that, looking at different ventures, because they don't. If the rates haven't changed, like, you got to keep looking how you keep improving, whether
exactly. It's
you're
just
doing excavating or trash service.
Right.
Or
That's why we bought that trash company out to keep the lights on throughout the 80s. But our clay work has just seemed to really help. That's more almost year round. Now the big cement plants shut down for a month every year to repower themselves, rework themselves over. And that's where I always have to rely on other avenues. I try to keep everybody pleased with me, whether I get all of it accomplished or not. But you just keep them happy, enough to. That's always my hope and my plan. And that way, then I can always keep everybody going. Because man, if you just relied on that one thing, you have drivers looking for work elsewhere than here, because you don't have the things that they need to do, So, yeah, and it's just a lot of it is luck or fate, I guess.
Yeah.
you hope you provide good things, and the good Lord will bring it back to you, you know. So that's what we've always said.
Yeah, that's
So-
good.
That's his barbecue sauce that he.
Yeah, I saw over here. I got some
Oh.
I was like, did we get moonshine on the way in?
That's homemade wine, is what that is.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
We were just
if
talking
you all
about-
would like that.
Hey, man, I'm never
We
gonna
won't turn that down.
down.
Behind his desk, like there's a bottle
Yep.
like that. and-
Mhm. One of our, well, so the gentleman that grew up in was in my dad's class drove for us until he retired, and now he helps us on the farm. But that's always been his hobby, is to make homemade wine. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
This bridge looks relatively new.
Yes, I want to say 2005. Call it the Kit Bond Bridge. I thought it was like 50 million back then. There's a picture in the office of us hauling the crane from that side, from the north side to the south side on the old bridge. Uncle, we had to haul that across to get so they could finish that little bit of a curve on the south end, because they had that open, and then I hauled the boom on the flatbed, and we were the last ones to go across the old bridge.
Oh wow.
So
How long does it take from here for that barge to make it to St. Louis?
I've never asked Steve that, honestly. Naturally, downriver is a lot faster than going up.
The guys were asking me that in the car, like how long does it take from like even St. Louis down to like Cape Girardeau? I'm like, I have no idea how long that takes. I guess it depends on how high the water is.
Right,
and-
right. I know when they would push the dredge and everything up to Jeff City, that would take 14 hours to push it up from here to Jeff City.
You said right now they're just kind of docked. There's kind
Yeah, they're docked for the winter, and actually he keeps his crew going with these 4 barges. Yeah, and actually straight ahead is actually our house, and where that brick house is, that's my mom and dad's.
Okay.
And then right below it is my house. My wife and I tore down the farmhouse that I grew up in.
Okay.
That's where our machine shed is, and the barn and whatnot.
Got somebody peeking out the front door. Is that your kiddos?
Probably. Now they close the door.
They don't want to be filmed? What do you think about the trucking business?
Good.
You like trucking? Like farming?
Yeah.
Agriculture? Do you guys think you'll be in agriculture when you're adults, or what do you want to do career-wise? Have you thought about that? No idea? Okay. You're still young. Maybe a farmer?
Yeah.
Trucker?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll let you get back. Good to meet you all.
So,
Man, it's nice up here.
yeah. Yeah, there used to be houses naturally in the bottoms, and then all the floods. Finally, people
Yeah.
get tired of dealing with it. So, yeah.
Well, who's going to insure you now?
Oh yeah, for sure, exactly.
What's going on here?
Well, so we have a ditch line that on this particular field that can't drain out without pumping it. We bought a pump. We had a 4-inch electric pump here 4 years that was here when we originally bought this farm in '97. We are trying to make a little more permanent and a little bit better. So we bought this bigger 6-inch pump now, because all this water just comes down to here and can't get out. It's just, this is the low end of the whole farm and the ground right here. So we have to pump it out into this ditch, which then goes over to the Luda River.
Oh, then it takes it all the way back? Okay. Wow. I never thought how much the excavating even complements the farming business.
Oh yeah,
You got to equip.
exactly.
You're going to have to either pay somebody else to do it, or you get your own equipment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it
That's really
leads
smart.
to doing our own projects, and then sometimes our projects get put on the back burner because they're not always the paying ones. So
Yeah.
it's like doing work for yourself.
But
all
you
the
already
time.
got the equipment.
Exactly.
That's the cool thing. to do
Exactly.
it. Yeah. Fill in when you can.
We say it doesn't pay, but stuff like this pays in the long run, the big scheme of things,
Yeah.
It's
So.
hard to put down as a dollar amount, though.
Oh, very much so. Very much so, because we're in the end, you're after the yield for the bins and for payments and everything else. So yeah, it helps in the big picture.
You got some amazing views, man.
It is. It's been a heck of a house site right here.
Yeah, what?
Now you talk about you would always see, you hear people, the ground moves. It definitely moves up there, it feels like. And there are some certain spots, like right down here in one of our fields, it's when it's wet, it's wet.
But like, how old are some of these pits? And I guess like how far I mean, how far down are they pulling this clay?
Oh man, sometimes.
And you guys, I know you said you got
they're-
loaders that are loading it, so
Yeah.
it's coming up, and then
Yeah,
there's piles
so
of it that you
yeah,
guys.
so what all we actually do is just load off stockpiles.
When I think of a clay pit, though, is it the same as just like a big quarry? Is that what it
Pretty
looks like?
much, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
get down there and it's just, I mean, sleeves of clay.
Yeah.
Because I think back home, because I've been down in some of these quarries, limestone quarries, but I mean, there's limestone shelves going
Yes.
300 or 400 feet down.
Mhm.
But some of these that they found, they get so far down, but then you just got,
Yes.
it's just clay.
Right.
I just never really thought about clay being a big commodity
Yeah.
in this area, but if you really think about it, like this
Yeah.
is a huge
It's
feeder.
a main staple.
Is there any clay pits close enough to view?
Well, I was
or
gonna say we could see what the piles look like. Otherwise, we'd have to go up to New Florence.
just a pile with the,
Yeah,
I mean, just
down
if we
to-
can get it out and just kind of hold it up.
Down at the
This
sand
is-
plant.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's do that.
Yeah.
What is, so when this goes to, do you know what the process is? Do they break this into?
They grind it down, as far as I know. And then the main thing for the trucking side, clay is either mud or dust.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
This particular stuff has a little purple red with it. Sometimes it's just nothing but pure white. Sometimes you can tell, like if some has too much iron in it, the pile will just start to turn brown. But then as soon as you move out of the way to expose it to light, it's still white. It can get sticky. All of our trailers have liners in them, a plastic liner.
Mark, thank you for letting us come out here. We said this earlier, but yeah, you were one of our first members on BulkLoads, and yeah, I tell everybody we don't forget that.
Yeah.
And thankful that you believed in us early on.
Yeah.
But you were at the BulkLoads conference earlier this year, and thank you for coming to that. I'll say this: I preach it all the time, but you guys are checking the boxes of being diversified. I mean, having the trucking business, the farming business, you know, the trash service, excavating.
Yeah.
What else am I leaving off here? I mean, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy, but it's interesting how, like, you've done it. I want to say out of survival, but making sure that
Yeah. All ends meet.
all ends meet, and it's cool how a lot of these complement themselves
Yeah.
at the beginning. I know I probably asked you 4 or 5 times to come out and do this. You finally agreed.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
No, I know. It was
No,
more of a timing.
No, it was great. I appreciate it. You know, it's more of, and a lot of it is timing. You know, because we are really busy a lot of times, and most of the time. But you know, to my accomplishment is to my father and family that is right there beside me. I couldn't do it without, and even to our employees, I
Yeah.
couldn't do it without them.
What a blessing to have Dennis talk. I didn't know that we were going to get that treat. And
Yes.
for him to even talk about the beginning phases.
Oh,
it
yeah.
was just so much gold and wisdom, sage wisdom
Yeah.
in there. And I love that I can, I grew up a stone throw away
You're right.
in Lincoln County, just on the edge of Montgomery County. And I remember coming to Herman, over the years. So it's cool
Yeah.
to showcase a member like you coming back here
Yeah.
on my old stomping ground. So,
Yes.
hey, thank you so
No,
much, Mark.
thank
Appreciate
you.
it. God bless
Thank
you.
you as well.
Thank you.
Right on cue for the phone call.
Awesome.